lessons that you can reflect on. So from literacyworldwide.org, they said to have books with strong plots and well-developed characters. This is very important when trying to effectively use multicultural literature in your classroom, because you want strong characters that our students can relate to, so that they feel included. Another thing would be open discussions. Having open discussions with your class. What article did we read last week? Can't remember off the top of my head, but it talked about how, this was actually for a completely different class. I had to write a micro theme for English, and it talked about how, I can't remember the teacher's name. I think it was like Smith. Her last name was Smith. She conducted a study in one of her classrooms and talked about how there were, her class was very diverse, but when she would break them up into groups, they wouldn't have diverse groups. It was like everybody was the same. It was the same group every single time. They were always with their friends, or always with their different, with the different genders, or, but one way that she went about this and tried to diffuse the different groups was to have them read or even conduct class discussions about how to be more diverse, or why we should switch up our groups every once in a while and learn about other people. And she talked a lot about icebreakers and getting to know people and their backgrounds. And then another one would be just assignments in general. You can make all kinds of assignments that have to do with the different groups in literature. And then one that I wrote down was daily activities or weekly activities. This I saw a lot in one of the classrooms that I observed. So in order for the teacher to, one of her things was a lot of people in her class didn't speak just English, or they were of a different race, or just they were different, had their differences. So she each day would have the word hello or good morning class written in a different language, and she would do the I say, you say, we say. So she would say it, then the class would say it, and then they would both say it. And so then she would go and talk about what language it was in, or let's say the language was Chinese, so that's from China, so then she would talk about something from China to just throw something in there. And then my notes about open discussions came from learningattheprimarypond.com. I found that website very resourceful. There was all kinds of books that you could read, reasons why it was important to include multicultural literature in your classroom, and to identify diversity, or the diverse groups that you have in your classroom, and to recognize them and appreciate them. And then my final prompt was to identify and evaluate multicultural children's resources for personal and professional use. So first I want to start by saying that it is important that we're asked for professional and personal differences in which resources we would pick, because our professional ones, it honestly depends on who we're teaching, how we're teaching. For example, I'm going to be a first grade teacher, so, or even kindergarten, just anywhere in there. But a lot of our kids aren't going to understand, some of the, I hope none of my kids understand bullying, just because I don't want them dealing with that, especially that young. But, so, it's, well, and then on top of that, there's different books, and, so, depending on the, grade level, you want something that they can relate to and understand. So that would